Hello, and welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. My name is Matt Lateplo, and on behalf of OTC Markets, we're very pleased you have joined us for our next live presentation from Silver Tiger Metals. Before I introduce our speaker, a few points to note. Please submit your questions in the question box at the bottom left of the slides. This presentation will be done via screen share. You can minimize the size of the screen share window by clicking the small rectangle in the top right corner of the screen share box and/or by clicking the small Q&A icon at the bottom of your screen to ask a question. Once the Q&A session is ended, don't log out. You will automatically be transferred into the Silver Tiger booth where you can continue to ask questions via chat and access additional shareholder materials. On a final note, all of today's presentations will be recorded and available for 24/7 replay. At this point, I'm very pleased to welcome Glenn Jessome, President and CEO of Silver Tiger Metals, Inc., which trades on the OTCQX Best Market under the symbol SLVTF and on the TSXV under the symbol SLVR. Welcome back, Glenn.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here today, and thank you for having us again. I want to welcome the audience and thank you for taking the time to hear about Silver Tiger Metals. Look, we've been based in Mexico, doing mining deals and transactions for a long time, over 25 years. I'm a securities lawyer by training, and what I do for our group is I build our public companies, acquire other public companies where the asset we see we need to have. That's what happened with Silver Tiger. And also basically when it's required, if we don't build the mine ourselves, sell those assets to majors. We did that in our group a little over 2 years ago. One of our Mexican assets was sold to Agnico Eagle, a company you'd all be very familiar with. We're in Sonora with this asset. We've built mines, and we should say our group, over 25 years in Mexico, based out of Halifax, Nova Scotia, East Coast, Canada. We only work in Mexico. We built 3 large mines over our 25 years. We built mines in Chihuahua, Durango. This one happens to be in Sonora. And we sold 2 more to majors during that same period. The last one 2 years ago, our Santa Gratudes project I mentioned that went to Agnico Eagle. What we have is a very, very large land package. It's more than that. It's a silver district. We're 80 kilometers from the U.S. border. In 2017, I built Silver Tiger. We trade on the TSX Venture Exchange. I work very closely with that exchange. I'm on the National Advisory Committee for the exchange, and basically one of 7 people in the country that has the privilege and honor of advising our regulator. So that's basically what I do with them, because we've done very good transactions throughout that long history with this group in Mexico. We needed to have this asset. It was owned by another public company that traded on the Venture Exchange. They've done a good job putting this land package together. 30,000 hectares is what you're looking at there. That's 35 kilometers. 25 kilometers of the Sierra Madre runs right through it. We needed to buy that public company. It was called Tigre Silver in 2017, near bottom of the market. I did. I paid $11 million for that public company. I delisted it, and this is what we took. You know, it was big. It was Sierra Madre ran right through it. But look, we're garbage men. I say that with great respect to everyone in Mexico. There's no new discovery in Mexico. We've been doing this for 25 years. We find all of our mines we've built or sold to majors under and around the head frames of old Spanish or American mines. This was an old American mine. I think I've got pretty much an American audience here, so you'll find this very interesting. The old El Tigre mine was right here, 1.5 kilometers, 1908 to 1930. This old American mine delivered and made it the hottest spot we'd seen in Mexico in all of our mine hunting. 100 million silver equivalent ounces at an average grade of almost 2.5 kilos over 22 years from 1908 to 1930. The only reason this sat here and we acquired it and it hadn't been further developed is in Sonora, all across Mexico, particularly Sonora. All these big American mines that were there in 1930, they closed and they sat dormant until groups like ours with modern technology dust them off. The Great Depression came. Silver was $1.33, and as the Depression started, it dropped to 10 cents. It became not economic. Our mine, Cheesepaw, which is the big Silvercrest mine, 90 kilometers, the same thing. That was a big Swiss mine that basically was closed in 1930 also. And I think we'll show you a little bit of the neighborhood, the great valuation you can get with new silver discoveries in Mexico, and we think we're on to the next one. And, you know, what our track record of building mines over 25 years, we think when we say that, people should listen. We loved a lot of other things about it. No Ejido, no native peoples, all ranch land. I have bought and owned the middle 6,500 hectares of this package. I paid $1.1 million for it. We have full right to all of those mineral concessions in the 30,000 hectares over that 35 kilometers to explore and exploit. Lots of good things about the package before we move on. As we look to develop further and move towards mining here, we've been based, our team, for 25 years in Hermosillo. That's a city of 1 million to the south. We drive down this federal highway, which continues on for 80 kilometers to the U.S., and we drive right to the mountain. There's a large power supply, high transmission power line runs right through our project, Tanakaseri, for all the big copper mines just to the west of us. That's where all that processing takes place. That's why all that electricity was needed. Lots of water on site for our exploration, but nice to have, 20 kilometers or so away, the Angostura Dam, unlimited water when we need it, and we get closer to production. So a really nice asset. Last thing I'll say about it is put together very well. El Tigre Silver did a very nice job in consolidating this before I bought the whole land package, and they paid out all the Mexican concession holders. That means they didn't give away the royalty. Many times we look at these 10-12% royalty gone. They just aren't economic from the beginning. So we still have that royalty to exploit, and I think on our Santa Cruz sale, we got $20 million USD, our group out of Halifax, a couple of years ago when we sold that to Agnico for that royalty. So very valuable to still have that intact. Let's spin and look at the neighborhood and talk about basically a lot of the analysts in Canada have since September calling us the next Silvercrest. We've got a ways to go to get to them, but we're well on our way already. Our results are, early stage, as good or better than theirs. If people don't know what Silvercrest is 90 kilometers from us, and all the analysts started writing in the reports. Echelon, Stifel GMP covers us, Sprott Capital Partners. We're covered by most of the banks in Toronto, and you can probably try to get access to that analyst coverage. Go to our website. The contact information is there. Most of them were trading about 70 cents. They're calling for about $1.30 consensus in the next 6 months, where we should move. That's Canadian dollars, of course. But Cheesepaw shows you the value of a new silver discovery in Mexico, 95 kilometers from us, same trend, same type of low sulfidation epithermal system. What's so important about that one, though, when you look at it, is in 2017, that SpinCo by we call it Silvercrest 2 to a degree, was $3.5 million. This was an old Swiss mine, exactly the same as the Tigre. Smaller mine. Great Depression came. It closed. The old timers, the Swiss, left, and Mr. Eric Fears, the president of that, drilled off what they left him, and today his market cap's $1.7 billion. Several years later, he's got $250 million in the bank, and he's building that. What a home run! But we think that we're just getting going on doing the exact same thing. That's the kind of value new silver discoveries can have, not only in Mexico but the world, because there are a dearth of them, as you know. We think we're on to the next great silver district. I'll show you why we think that here as we go forward. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on geology, but we do have a geology slide. All I'm going to show you this for is one thing. We are not reinventing the wheel. All we've worked on for our 25 years in Mexico are low sulfidation epithermal systems. That's what all the big ones in Mexico are. That's exactly what El Tigre is. You're looking at the middle 5 kilometers of our land package here. And the old mine, we're drilling around that old mine, and boy, did those old timers leave us a lot. They took the very narrowest of the high-grade silver vein. They left us tons of that, lots of mineralization from surface, and they also left us wide zones underground, which they had no interest in mining. That mine, the cutoff for that mine I told you about, the 100 million silver equivalent ounces at 2.5 kilos they took out, incredible grade. Their cutoff was 750 grams. so super high grade. Left us tons here in that kilometer and a half. It's about 5 kilometers right in the heart. We've got 35 kilometers of this. I'll show you that at the end, this whole district. We also got north. Same veins continue north. Old timers never really around the turn of the century mined that. Had some spectacular results. What we hunt for in Mexico are what we call ore shoots or clavos. There's never one giant big deposit that's 10 million ounces. Our mines, the ones we've built, some of them in excess of 10 million ounces in our careers there, have basically been small basically clavos, ore shoots, Mexican word clavos, along the trend. The first one here was the old mine. I'm going to show you what they mined there and what we think is still there. The next one is where those same veins come together again like they did here, another clavos. We think that's an evolving ore shoot, and we think as we go south, we might see another one. So stay tuned on why we think some of that when I start showing you some of the results. This rock structure here is becoming very important. Upper and lower volcanic, as all these are in Mexico, these epithermal systems. You have the top of the mountain, the upper volcanic, the lower volcanic, down the valley, where these veins all daylight, here, that's about 20 kilometers of strike length and the 5 kilometers, is in that transition zone between the two. Ours is the yellow rock, the El Tigre. It's important because not only do we have the high-grade, super high-grade silver veins in here, but from surface, open pit potential, because this yellow El Tigre formation, yellow because of the color in the map, takes up a gold dissemination outside that super 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 kilo per ton silver vein. So we think that we have not only we have the high-grade silver veins. We have the wide zones of mineralization from surface in the first 100 meters, open pit bulk tonnage. We've already drilled off with one pass on one vein, 1 million ounces of gold in an open pit setting. But now we're starting to see, as we get a little deeper in the system, super wide, 10, 20, 30 meter wide zones of silver mineralization, half kilo, 3/4 of a kilo. I'll show you some of that. Also outside the high-grade quartz veins. So 3 types of mineralization. Let's go look at that. I do want to show you this. This is my favorite slide in the whole deck. This is the old El Tigre mine, big American mine, turn of the century. What we did as soon as we got there, we're good miners, but we always mine data. That old mine, 1908 to 1930, 100 million silver equivalent ounces at 2.5 kilos, we wanted all those records. They would be invaluable to us in our exploration. We found them. University of Wyoming, a museum in the Anaconda collection. All those old records were saved, and we have all the what you see there is what we built. 6 months. Took us 2 months to get the data, all paper, digitize it, build the old mine. Every stope map was there. Every underground mining sample. Every 5 feet we had the sample the old timers took. The old timers, big mine. They went along strike for 1,600 meters. They were chasing that clavos, which we know goes for a kilometer. That's what the depth of the system will be in the end. They only stopped at 450 on the Tigre vein because they went home. Literally parked this thing, and it's sat until we brought modern exploration to it here in the last several years. Everything they mined on the bottom level, we got those mine records when they stopped, and the Tigre vein was 2 kilos. Now I'm going to switch this and look plan view. The black is what they took out of it. We're going to look at the 3 veins they mined over that kilometer and a half. Almost disappears, as you can see, the black. They wanted a half meter. It was super high grade. And why was it there? Because this Tigre vein, where they went for a kilometer and a half to 450, and the sites Kelly, where they went for a kilometer, came together. Kilo, 2 kilos, 3 kilos. Clavos that formed here goes to a kilometer. They went to 450 on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 20, up to 100 kilograms per ton silver they were mining. Incredible. Now, this was the western vein, the Sui. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Some of the results we're getting off that now are incredible. The old timers, 1930, 10 cents silver, they went home. They just started to mine here. They only went for a couple hundred meters, and they only went down 150 meters, and also only 150 meters on the eastern vein. That's the sites Kelly, the Sui. We're going to talk about the Sui for sure in a few minutes. We've been down dip on that. This thing goes for 3 kilometers, never mined. Incredible what we're starting to find with the drill bit. Remember, old timers didn't drill this. All they did was follow it underground, as I showed you, that super high-grade silver vein, quartz vein, looks like your countertop, and they wanted a half meter. They left us a lot of ore around this mine that had never been touched. We'll get to some of that in a minute. I do have to show you that second type. We know we got the quartz veins, kilometers of it. We also knew from our experience, that's that halo, that vein halo. Remember that yellow rock, that transition between the upper and lower volcanic, 100 meters thick from surface? That's a million ounces of gold, about 100-meter wide cuts, gram and a half outside the. Remember, we drilled this one just to test our theory. That Tigre vein, that was the high grade was already gone. That's a million ounces. Show you the drilling we put in that after we got this 1819. All of it 100 meters from surface, open pit, million ounces. You can see our drill holes going through at 12,000 meters to deliver that 43101 resource. 120 meters, gram and a half. Beautiful open pit. As we get north and around the veins that haven't really been mined yet, you're going to have all of them sitting in the start with an open pit and go underground after those quartz veins for 3/4 of a kilometer. And then we found the third type of mineralization. Only got about 10 minutes left, 12 minutes left here. Let's talk about what we did. Money. It's always important to have money. We've been very successful. We've raised our group well over, I think it's over $1.5 billion now since our time in Mexico for all of our various projects, led by all of the institutions. BMO Capital Markets led a lot, raised a lot of that money over the 25 years for our group. BMO, we were at our first BMO show. We're one of the smallest companies there. We were invited this year, the big one they have in Miami every year, the BMO show, and really starting to present our project to the world as it's just coming out of the box. Grabbed $11 million at 30 cents Canadian in September. We were just going to start exploring this thing, get back on the mountain after COVID and get at it. I told everybody that we would not raise any more money, our shareholders at that time, until we'd taken the money we raised, delivered with the drill bit. We did that all fall, fantastic results into January and February, and we raised another $23 million to continue our exploration program. We doubled our price in that 4.5-month period. We spent about 60% of the $11 million, delivered with the drill bit, and I think most of our shareholders were very happy that we doubled the value, raised 60 cents, and that was raised from some of the biggest and best institutions in this space on the planet, and 4 of them took it all, and most of them were American-based. So we've got 27 million bucks in the bank right now, Canadian, and we are getting at drilling this middle 5 kilometers of our land package. I want to put in perspective, so it's not lost here before we finish on this, just how big our land package is. That's the brownfield. That's where I own all that land and where we've done all our drilling. This is a district, though. There's what we own. I want to put in perspective how we're just scratching the surface here with all these great results. That's 35 kilometers. We've now, since we've owned this for several years, have been across 25 kilometers of it. What I'm talking to you about today, the old mine and all of our drilling, the only drilling ever on this project, is that middle 5 kilometers. We've gone 12 kilometers this way, 3 more mines. We've just got in high-grade gold and silver, 10 kilometers this way outside of where we've drilled. We've put all these little mines on the map from around the same vintage. A big Pilares mine. We've been in high-grade gold and silver. And here, we got on the other side of that mountain. Remember the upper volcanic, the top, that layer? We had a theory that El Tigre, that wide zone that hosts these veins, would come out on the other side. We were very right when we went there a little over a year ago. We found the Santa Maria vein, never touched, never mined, high-grade gold and silver. We've added that 6,000 hectares to our land package to take it in. Well, let's go back and talk now about what we did through the fall. The great results that have taken us from a $30 million market cap to almost $200 million market cap, and we are just getting going. And we have the money to keep driving that market cap forward. September, we started drilling here in this clavos. We thought, there's the old mine. We delivered a resource here. Let's go up north. None of this ever touched by the old timers. Let's see if that's the next clavos where all these same veins, you can see they're all the same veins going north. Just never, the old timers just didn't get there. The old timers only mined what you see in black, the Tigre, Sites, Sui, and only a little bit of it, and to shallow depth. This was a fantastic results. 2 drills of September, October, November. We released these results in December. They could not have been better. We then put one of the drills here, November, and drilled on the Benjamin. Incredibly great results there, a new discovery. We released that end of January, early February. And then we drilled what was a game-changer hole for us. We get down around the old mine, second, third week of December. We put this out in February, and we drilled down dip, which means just under where the mining stopped, and the mineralization we started to hit was absolutely fantastic and incredible. So let's talk about the three, and I'm going to show it to you in cross-sections. Easiest way to see it. 2 kilometers north of where the mining stopped, we went up and we drilled this. From surface, all these holes are 100 meters. We walk on the mineralization. We're 2 kilometers north of where the mining stopped. All the super high-grade silver veins are intact. It's in that beautiful yellow rock I keep talking about, that El Tigre formation. First hole we put in it was a meter at 10 kilos, 50 meters from surface. An indicative hole is here on the Cayley vein, 30 meters from surface. We drilled a meter of 3.7 kilograms per ton silver, all of it silver. Just the vast majority of all of our results are silver. We're a true silver deposit, not a gold deposit pretending it's a silver deposit. You can see the second thing we drill on that hole, 26 meters of 2 grams per ton gold. That's that gold disseminating outside of these super high-grade silver veins. What we're going to do here is we're going to delineate pits to the north, open pit, take all that wide zone of mineralization like we drilled 2 kilometers south of here at the old mine on the Tigre vein, that first 1 million ounces, take the high-grade vein intact with it, and then go underground following those quartz veins for upwards of 3 kilometers. Beautiful result. Had a couple of sections we put out in December. Wonderful. Let's go back and look at the map. We're starting to run short of time. This was the discovery on the Benjamin. Now, this vein, the Suey, this is the northern extension of the Suey. It's just been faulted. We called it the Benjamin when we discovered it. That's 3 kilometers. So the first few holes we put in this were absolutely fantastic. I'll show you what they looked like right here. You can follow it quickly. First hole, 100 meters from surface. Now remember, here's something very interesting. That Tigre formation, that first 150 meters, is eroded away here, about a kilometer north of where the mining stopped. So what we did is, these are only 200-meter holes, but we started to get down in the next layer. This flat formation is very important. And why it's important? It's acting as a sponge around these veins a little deeper in the system. First deep holes ever put here. All of ours around the old mine and to the north of this were all in the top 100 meters. So we got down here, boy, it was a pretty nice result. First hole, 3 meters of 1.3 kilos. So we just kept stepping out, and boy, we started hitting it. 2 meters of 1.4, but we started to see some really wide zone in this flat formation around those super high-grade silver veins. There's 8 meters of almost a half kilo. The next hole we stepped out south on it again, and boy, 6 meters of a kilo. This is all 100 meters, less than 100 meters from surface. This is open pit depth. And then all of a sudden we see wide zones, 14 meters of a half kilo. Valuable ore, almost looked like this flat formation. Remember, this layers go for kilometers, tens of kilometers each way. So all of these veins here at the old mine to the north come through this. So, game changer hole, last 5 minutes. You really need to pay attention, because this is where it got extremely exciting in February, March, April, and it still is to this day. We drilled the last hole in December, down dip, underneath where the mining stopped. Remember, we had all the mining records on that Suey vein, about 150 meters. We were going to test that vein that we know goes for a kilometer. We expected a meter, 2 meters, kilo, 2 kilos. Well, what we drilled into right here, remember now we're 1.2 kilometers in that same vein, in that same flat formation. There's the first drill hole. We didn't quite go deep enough to get under the mining. The next couple of holes we hit going south, pick up the Suey vein, 1.5 meters, 1, 2 kilos. But when we drilled into this, we knew that this flat formation, a little over 100 meters from surface, was incredible ore. It's almost like it's a mineralized zone following the vein south. That is incredibly valuable ore. That's maybe open pit. If not long hole mining, you're looking at 12 meters of 700 grams, 22 meters of 381 grams. Incredible. And we just started stepping south on it, guys. We stepped out 25 meters. I can't go through all the results. Go on our verified presentation on our website and look at these slides, these cross sections. That's 25 meters south. We nail it again. Plus, we're hitting the vein as we go. We went another 25. Again, 25. We hit it again. Look at the grade. 1.3 meters of 2 kilos. 4.6 of almost a kilo. Now we're 100 meters. We're still in it. None of these holes missed. These were continuous. Then we really stepped out. This was probably, we're into March now. 150 meters. We nail it again. 10 meters of 210, 1.1. So then we really said in the last press release last week, let's really get at this and go far south. We went 250 meters, and we picked up this same mineralized zone. Remember this quartz vein, we know it's there. That goes for a kilometer. That's going to be a meter, 2 meters, of a kilo, 2 kilos. Now we've got this mineralized zone on each side, because this is in the footwall, of 4 meters of 692. Look at the guts of that thing, half meter of 5 kilos. We seem to have a parallel structure following south this vein. None of this ever reported on the mountain. The old timers wanted none of that. They didn't drill this. They followed that countertop quartz vein to depth to get their high-grade silver. Then we stepped out another 775 meters, and we're in it again. So basically, exciting. We hit that one. That was a continuous hole. To show you what that means on this map, on this one Sui vein, which is what we're focusing on, where the old-timers barely mined it, that western vein, which we know goes for 3 kilometers right there. We went Benjamin Discovery. I showed you that in the flat formation. Went 1.2 kilometers, had hole 202, that discovery hole. We've now stepped out with another 9 or 10 holes, another 1.2 kilometers. Look, it's all still in front of us here. We got another kilometer to go. We have one drill hole a kilometer south where we hit 1.5 meters at 715. What we're going to be focusing on here for the next several months is 27 million Canadian in the bank. We're going to really start to delineate what we have here in the high-grade quartz vein. Remember, there's 3 types of mineralization. This is important to remember what we've discovered so far on this. We're going to delineate the high-grade quartz vein that goes to great depth. We're going to follow this mineralized zone, which now we see on each side in the flat formation, following the veins, super wide grades, great grade, and we're always going to take that first El Tigre out and delineate the pit from the top to take the wide zone out, which will be the starting point, and then go underground for up to 3/4 of a kilometer. Exciting. We'd love you to pay attention. A lot of drill results coming. We always do one thing when we're in Mexico. We don't hunt drill holes. We drill this vein now to deliver within the next year a new 43-101 resource estimate to go at our first 1 million ounces. We've already drilled off with the gold halo around the Tigre vein. And we want to deliver our first economic test, the PEA, which is all we do in Mexico. And then it will be a pre-feas and a feasibility, because we do all of this to get ready to build a mine. And who knows, like Santa Gratuitas, we sold to Agnico a couple years ago. At some points, the majors want to have these assets, but it's always the same. Drill off ounces, deliver economic tests, reports, which are PEA, pre-feas, and it's the same path. So we'd love to start seeing some of the listeners pay attention to El Tigre. We think we have the next great silver district in Mexico. We say that not promotionally. We say that because we've been there 25 years. We've built 3 large mines, and we've basically sold 2 of our assets, the other 2, always successful, to majors. This is just our next one, and we're going to use all our skill and the capital we've raised to deliver more value for our shareholders. So far, so good. Thank you for taking the time to hear about El Tigre today. We do appreciate it. And if there are any questions, I guess I can see if there are any in the box. I do see a question here. What is your ownership structure, and who are some of the institutions you count as shareholders? I will say that I am the largest shareholder, John. I have about 14 million shares with some stock options under my control. There's no free stock in our deals. I have $2 million of my own dollars in for that. We don't give out free stock. My management team are the same. We buy all our stock when we put the company together and throughout the private placements to get it going. We own between us about 16.6% of the company. That management team gets out one of 2 ways. We build a mine, or we sell this to a major. There's no other way for us. Institutions, the $11 million I raised in September at 30 cents was all institutional, and the 23 I raised basically in, February of this year, the bought deal was at 60 cents. We doubled our value in 4 or 5 months, which was great for our shareholders. That was all institutional. That was led, I hope they don't mind me saying, by an American company you'd all be familiar with, Franklin Templeton Gold Fund. We have Merck as a major shareholder in all of those institutions. SAM, Sprott Asset Management, Ixios. The last 11 plus 23 was all institutional. There are our list, but I will not go all of them I think the quality of what I've talked about there is great. If we deliver for them, then really for us, capital to build this mine and move it forward will be unlimited for us because we are dealing with the most preeminent institutions in this space. Are there any questions more? How much drilling in 2021? Well, I can tell you that I can't tell you the exact amount, but we will be. We have 3 drill rigs turning now. We will soon have a 4th. That will turn to a 5th. We have the capital to drill for the next 18 months at those rates with those drill rigs because we have $27 million in treasury, and you'll see the next 50 to 100,000 meters put in this project here in the next 9 to 12 months. Can you speak to the infrastructure in place of El Tigre? Well, yes, absolutely, I can, guys. Question. Infrastructure is everything we need there. We're right in the middle of mining country. Power, roads, water, mining town 30 kilometers away. We drive to site. We own all the land. It's easy infrastructure for Mexico. And I think that is the last question I have time to answer. I think I need to wrap up now. Thank you very much for hearing about El Tigre, and we hope you follow along with the company as we head to more and more success.